strong.
Thank you, Susie.
I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. So it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on.
When you're not strong, I'll be your friend.
I'll help you carry on.
Lord, it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Please swallow your pride if I have things you need to borrow for. No one can feel those of your needs that you won't let show. Lean on me when you're not strong, for I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on.
Just call on your brother if you need a hand.
We all need somebody to lean on.
I might have a problem that you'll understand.
We all need somebody to lean on. If there is a load you have to bear that you can't carry, I'm right down the road. I'll share your load if you just call me. Lean on me when you're not strong. I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, Lord. It won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on.
Just call on your brother if you need a hand.
We all need somebody to lean on.
I just might have a problem that you'll understand.
We all need somebody to lean on. Lean on me. Call on me when you're not strong. When you're not strong, I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. For it won't be long till others need somebody to lean on. Just call me if you need a friend. 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 If you need a friend. Call me if you need a friend. Call me. Just call me.
Woo, good morning, Jubilee. Boy, what a wonderful way to start the day, start the morning. Thank you so much, Jubilee singers. Thank you, Paula, Ryan, World Beat Band. Thank you for everything, and welcome to the day of renewal through community. Today we come together as common unity, in common unity, a community of people looking to the future. Recognizing things going on in the world that we're trying to transmute the energies to serve a higher vibration in life. Let's take these energies that are presenting themselves in our time and in its awareness. And how can we take this story, this narrative that's being presented, that's day-to-day life on this planet, and how can we take this energy and the feelings that it evokes inside of us, and the spirit that awakens the light inside of us to shine for those that may not be able to see through the darkness right now. We have a privilege of coming freely and gathering here today, a privilege where there are others in this world right now that do not share this privilege with us. So can we take that hope that they have and renew it in our light, rebirth it, add it in energy, and infuse it with hope and prayer through renewal, through our awareness of coming together, of leaning on one another? If you have friends, and let's think about how good a friend you are. Let's think about how we can be friends to those that are out there that are seeking solace through connection, through life, through the energy that we're going to offer here today, through our singing and our prayer and our awareness and our message, through our common unity, to take this and to renew the hope that each and every one of us carries in our heart and our spirit. And it's such an honor to be here in this springtime, to be with you, to see all the budding in nature, all the colors that are happening, and all the blossoming that's happening in each and every one of your hearts and each and every one of your spirits. So thank you, thank you, thank you, community, in a good way. Aho.
Each and every one of us to be one. Find your heart, open up your eyes. We can all know everything without ever knowing why. It's in every one of us. Why? We're gonna do it again. It's in every one of us to be wise. Find your heart, open up your eyes. We can all know everything without ever knowing why. It's in every one of us, by and by.
Okay, Jubilee, if you will, let's all together as one take a deep breath. And as you breathe in and out, let's imagine what this renewal looks like to you and what it feels like into you and your spirit. And let's face to the east and carry this prayer with you. Way away, away, higher, away, higher, away, 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 higher, away, 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 higher, away, 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 high, way, oh, high, oh, hey. Face to the south, please. Way away, away, higher, away, higher, away, 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 higher, away, 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 higher, away, 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 high, way, oh, high, oh, hey. Oh, face to the west, please. Way away, away, higher, away, higher, away, 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 higher, away, 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 higher, away, 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 high, way, to the north, please. Way away, away, higher, away, higher, away, 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 higher, away, 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 higher, away, 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 high, way, high, oh, hey. And face the center, please. And once again, breathe as one people and one tribe, one indigenous tribe of this earth. And know, ancestors, that we offer this breath as we give and as we receive the precious breath of life. We thank you, Wind Nation, and all ancestor beings for coming and being with us in this time. Thank you for surrounding us with the beauty and the impossible colors of nature and the beauty and the creativity it gives us inside our heart and our soul. We thank you, ancestors, from the ancient past to the ancient future, for all that you share with us. We ask you to continue to be generous and gracious with us, with your love and your wisdom and your compassion. And know that we love you in a good way. Now, we're going to have a song and we're going to feed the hungry. We have the baskets here. Know that all the money that we offer in this time goes out to help our community. And again, this is what we're doing. We're renewing hope for our common unity as one people upon this earth in a good way. I hope.
Got my hand on the freedom cloud. Won't give nothing for my journey now. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on. We fought jail and violence too, but God's love has seen us through. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on. Work all day and work all night, trying to gain our civil rights. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on. The only chain that a man can stand is the chain of a hand in hand. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on.
Morning, everyone. Wow, so we've got some really good announcements today, so I'd like to invite the people that have announcements to come up, news to share with us about how you can get more involved in Jubilee.
Thank you. Okay, so in a couple weeks, on May 4th, that's a Saturday, the Rainbow Community School is having their spring fling, and we all are invited, and I want to see every one of you there. We're going to be selling coffee, and they will have a plant sale, and they have a class that does entrepreneurial type stuff, and I think those things will be for sale. It'll be a community market. It's from 10 to 2 right here on this campus, Saturday, May 4th. We are also, I have on order right now, Jubilee t-shirts and ball caps and market bags, and those are going to go on sale before the 4th. So actually, next Sunday, bring your $20 bills, and we will take pre-orders. I don't think the product is going to be here until like the week before the 24th. So anyway, be prepared to come and buy your t-shirt. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Mary Lou from the Earth Team, and I'm inviting everyone to a very special event for Earth Day. We have co-sponsored with Creation Care Alliance, and we're having a movie night. And it's going to be a documentary called Common Ground, which is actually a follow-up to Kiss the Ground, which many of you may have already seen. It is going to be a little over 2 weeks from now. It's going to be on Tuesday, the 23rd of April, and it will be at the West Asheville Library from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock, and we'll have time afterwards for a little Q&A. So I hope that everybody will come. I will be at the coffee hour if you have more questions. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Steve. I'm with the Earth Team. And I think everybody knows that we're have got to make a transition from fossil fuels to more renewable sources of energy. The greenhouse gases, particularly carbon and methane, are ruining our atmosphere. We've got an existential crisis with climate change heading into the future. You know, oil supply is maybe the biggest cause of international tension and a cause of a lot of wars around the world. I keep noticing a lot more electric vehicles around. And there's a good reason for that. People that have studied the issue know that it's a big change, something we can do to really reduce our dependence on oil. Much more efficient technology. There's a lot of misinformation about it, about electric vehicles in general, that some of them are very expensive, but there are many others that are not. And Judy and I just got one, and for the price of a regular vehicle or less, and it's something that we really need to think about and get the best information about. There's right before Earth Day on April the 21st, they're having the annual electric vehicle show at the Tanger Outlet Mall from 12 to 4. A lot of people volunteer for it. Sierra Club will be there. You can get the right information there, not rely so much on misinformation, whether in the press or other sources, and make a decision for yourself about what our future is going to be with energy. Can do something to change the world, perhaps. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Sage with Care and Compassion Team, and I just want to remind you that today we'll have a table set up in the coffee hour, during coffee hour, to hopefully sign up people for Care and Compassion Team. We certainly could use more members, and also to answer any questions you have about the team. Be happy to discuss that with you. And we will be signing people up also for prayer teams. So I hope you can come, and we'll have some special treats at our table for you, just to tantalize you. Really, Ann. Thank you.
Okay, just a couple last ones. Creation Spirituality Community, which is a large group of all kinds of creation spirituality churches, and I say that with little quotes around it. They are having their annual gathering, and it'll be in person and live streamed. It's May 31st through June 2nd. It's taking place in Cape Cod. It's fairly inexpensive considering that the registration includes housing and things like that. Matthew Fox and Brian Swim will both be giving keynotes, and our own Daniel Barber will be drumming. And the link to early registration discounts is on the homepage of our website. So if you're interested in learning more about that, you can just go to the website, which is up there on the screen, and you can see where the links and contacts are located. The other thing is, and this is really wonderful, we got a $5,000 grant to sponsor Bounty, yay, yes, to sponsor Bounty and Soul's 10th anniversary celebration. So the money was given to us, and we're giving it straight to Bounty and Soul. And it's a win-win because it helps their operations. The $5,000 sponsorship that we specifically took is going to provide their ability to go out and collect food from farms to bring it back to the various sites that they serve. And it gives us lots of visibility on their social media, on their website, on site during the event. And one thing it provides to us is an exclusive volunteer benefit. And the things that they're enabling us to do, that they'll create this exclusive benefit volunteer opportunity is planting, gardening, harvesting, going through the produce, sorting produce, as well as working at the free farmers market that they do in Black Mountain. But I don't know which one that we all want to do the most, so I really need to hear from you all in order to let them know what they should create for us. So I created a little survey. There is a QR code to it on the back of today's bulletin if you're a person that likes to find your websites that way, or the link is on the homepage of the website. So I would really appreciate it if you would fill this out as just 2 questions, which is your preference to serve, or if you don't want to volunteer, so that we get an idea about how many people want to do things. And then a place for you to make any comments that you personally want to make. So thank you very much. And right now, we're going to talk a little bit more about outreach. And we have a gift from Eblen Charities.
Thank you, everyone. My name is Beth Russo, and I am proud to be here today on behalf of Eblen Charities. And I'm also just happy to be here because what a joyful, energizing spirit to start your Sunday with. If you don't know Eblen Charities, we are a locally based nonprofit. We help people in community with essential needs. We pay back due rents to prevent eviction. We maintain utility service, running water, electricity, and heat. We provide gasoline for folks to get to job interviews and medical appointments. And we run and operate a host of giveaway events. Right now, our warehouse is full of formal dresses and formal clothing for proms, military balls, weddings, whatever people need. And next Friday from 7 to 7, we will be out at Carolina Furniture Concepts collecting winter clothing for our community members. But actually, the reason I'm here is to say thank you. Earlier this year, you all made a gift to our organization in support of our heating services. And due to your gift, we were able to maintain heat during the coldest winter months for 3 families right here in our community. Thank you. The other thing I want to say before I leave is that when you make a donation, or when you volunteer your time, or when you go through your closet and pull out the winter clothes that you don't want anymore and you pass it on, you're taking baby steps to create the kind of community you want to be part of. And again, I'm here in joy and gratitude, knowing that you joined forces with us to help make sure that people in our community have the basic needs that they deserve and require in order to live their life here in Asheville. Thank you.
Thank you, Beth, and welcome. And Jubilee, that really is renewing through community, renewing lives through community. So your gifts really do make a prayerful difference. That's a segue into prayer time. So, jubilants, I invite you to ring and sing your bowls and bells, which are up here. If you're watching this online, you may email your prayer requests to prayers@jubileecommunity.org. Yona and Diane will be at the Western Wall to share communion with you and to pray with you. And you may put your prayers on our sandwich board out there, which is our equivalent of the Western Wall, which matter. We look at those prayers, we pray over those prayers, we initial those prayers. Those become a part of the tapestry of our spiritual community. So I invite you to enter this prayer time as individuals, as a community, together. Let's pray. Let this stillness be a prayer. Let your breath be a prayer for all those prayers unsaid. Let your feet planted on the ground be a prayer of action. All that we must do to sustain this planet. May your heartbeat be a prayer of compassion for your human and non-human neighbors. And may your open eyes be a prayer of awareness of our one miraculous, beautiful life and all the joys and sorrows that go with it. Breathe deeply. I invite you to take some hands. Good to see you. I'm actually going to switch around this way so I can see everybody. Sorry, band, you got it to look at my butt. Asheville is sort of known still as a little woo-woo. It's true. It's good. It's fine. I like to put a little bit of whoa or wow in woo-woo whenever possible. I'm a part of a group of 5 people that's been meeting for 5 years. We're definitely woo, and we're definitely wow. So we practice magic. We practice friendship magic. We get together once a week, but also whenever we have needs, and we're just present together, and we listen no matter what is going on in our lives, and we just listen. And we, as we say here in Asheville, put it out there. And it seems to always work, sometimes just by listening. Now, this is the moment when we have friendship magic too. You might not know who's sitting next to you, but they're a friend in spirit. We have the Care and Compassion team. That's friendship magic. We have the prayer chain. That's friendship magic. supporting Eblen Charities. That's Friendship Magic. This is Friendship Magic writ large and over many, many years. You don't need a small group. You don't need a large group. Just need to hold hands, pray together, listen to the static, laugh, and care. That's what we do best, is care. Give those holy hands a squeeze. And after we sing, let's share God's love with one another.
All shall be well. All shall be well. All manner of things shall be well. All shall be well. All shall be well. All shall be well. All manner of things shall be well. All shall be well. Please offer each other holy peace through a hug, a smile, a handshake, whatever works for you. All shall be well. All shall be well. All manner of things shall be well. All shall be well. All shall be well. All shall be well. All manner of things shall be well. All shall be well. All that peace going around. I love it. Hi, everybody. I'm Susie Davis. I'm your coordinator of community life, and I'm not really making an announcement. I'm offering a gift. In preparation for Stephanie's grand entrance on May 19th, we are offering a gift of great expectations for the next few weeks. Gosh, no pressure, Stephanie, great expectations. But she named it, and this was her idea, and I love it. So I think that we've all been holding a great expectation of realizing the dream of a thriving community focused and dedicated to making the world a better place. It's who we are, right? It's who we've always been, and we've always done it with a spirit of purpose and fun as we make strong friendships and send down deep roots. The life of our community revolves around this concept. And we all know that Jubilee is more than what we experience on Sunday mornings. Sundays are a weekly affirmation of what we believe and what we value. We come for inspiration to fuel the living of our best lives, but the real living
comes when we step outside these doors. Community life is an extension of what we experience in the celebrations. While sharing coffee and conversation afterward, we also share ideas of how to make Jubilee stronger and how to get more deeply involved. Many of us have dreams of coming together in deeper ways to share our stories and support each other in a more intimate way, such as with sharing circles or possibly a women's group. See me or Sally or Sage about this if you want to talk a little more about it. But what we do outside these doors comes from you. Let's talk about your ideas. Last winter, we tried to jump on the Lazoom bus and go caroling around the city to raise money for Eblen Foundation. But even though the weather didn't cooperate, when we had to cancel, every single person donated their ticket. And Lazoom even threw in some money too. So, this is how it works. This is how it works. We pulled together a gang to get dressed up and sing and dance in the Mardi Gras parade. That was a lot of fun, showing Asheville, showing Asheville that we're still here doing what we do. We'll do the same thing later this year in the holiday parade, so stay tuned. Maybe not quite so silly, but in 2 weeks, we'll join the folks at Rainbow School for their spring fling. Making connections and supporting our friends here is important. Wear your Jubilee t-shirts. Another important thing that we're doing is praying for each other and showing up with help during times of need by way of the Care and Compassion team. The really lovely thing, though, is that the team is just an extension of us. It's an extension of what we already do. We show up. So, the really exciting thing in the life of our community that is right on our doorstep is that the wise and wonderful Stephanie Escher is coming to co-create this future Jubilee with us. Yes, she will be our minister. She will lead and provide stability. But my great expectation is that she will bring her energy and creativity, her spirit of fun and collaboration. I'm expecting to be amazed at the energy and creativity that she inspires in us. We are each wise and wonderful people, and those qualities are magnified when shared with each other as our new minister holds the light. Hey, no pressure, Stephanie. But excitement always works like that, and we're excited for what's next. Thank you.
Wow, thank you for that, Susie. I'm looking forward to these great expectations now. And if you will, Jubilee, listen to these holy words. There is no power for change greater than the community discovering what it cares about. We cannot live only for ourselves. 1,000 fibers connect us with our fellow humans. Alone, we can do so little. Together, we can do so much. This is from Helen Keller. This is ancient wisdom and holy word. All creation is wisdom and holy word. All creation sings of wisdom and God. Hallelujah. Jubilee community, it is my great honor and pleasure to today's speakers speaking on renewal and sharing with our community. Please welcome David LaMotte.
Let me see. There it is. It's me. I hit the wrong little button. Thanks, Bob. So good to be with y'all. So good to be with y'all. I come from a long line of preachers. I'm not a preacher. I've never been to seminary. But my father and my grandfather and my sister are Presbyterian pastors, right? So I grew up kind of immersed in this. When people ask me what my tradition is, I tell people I'm a Quakertarian. That means that I've spent a lot of Saturday nights watching people I love agonize over what they're going to say on Sunday morning. I've gone to bed a lot of Saturday nights watching people staying up late and trying to figure out what they're going to say on Saturday morning. And I know, because I've been hanging out with preachers a lot, that they choose the name of what they're going to say long before they know what the content is, right? So I chatted several weeks ago with friends here at Jubilee, and we decided that I was going to speak on renewing through community. Because renewal is kind of your overarching theme for a while, and community is kind of my jam. So I thought, okay, there's an intersection there. We'll work with that. So I got to the point where I started wrestling with it. And of course, the first thing I do as a word nerd is just look at the three words: renewing through community. Renewing. Being new again. Kind of a challenging concept, being new again. As a guy with some gray in my beard, that's not always how it happens, is it? Like, I feel like things mostly get older, they don't get newer. The laws of physics tell us, the laws of conservation of matter and conservation of energy both say there's no new matter, there's no new energy, it just shifts around. What's here gets rearranged, but it's all here. There's nothing actually new. So I did, being raised Presbyterian, I thought, well, I wonder what the Bible has to say about this. I went to Ecclesiastes and read this incredibly depressing passage at the beginning of Ecclesiastes, where the writer of Ecclesiastes, which some people speculate might have been a woman, said, all things are wearisome, more than one can say. The eye never has enough of seeing, the ear its fill of hearing. What has been will be again. What has been done will be done again. There is nothing new under the sun. Is there anything of which one can say, look, this is something new? It was already here long ago. It was here before our time. Well, thanks for that. Sure glad I came. So there's some truth there. Some things are not new. I'm going to get my water while we're talking. It's wonderful to be wireless. But that's not the whole story, friends. And you know it's not the whole story, right? There are new things all the time. We are sitting here this morning in the presence of spring. I took my allergy meds before I came. I don't know about you. Things are opening and blossoming all around us. Things exist that did not exist mere weeks ago, mere days ago. This morning, babies have been born into the world before we even woke up, right? There are things that are new. And this constellation of spirits, this particular group of people, has never been in a room together before. This particular combination, right? This moment has never happened and will never happen again. And it's up to us what we make of it, right? Whether this time matters is up to us. We are given the extraordinary gift of this moment right here. What an amazing thing to be offered. Let me go over here. The physicist Niels Bohr said an amazing thing. He said, the opposite of a fact is a falsehood, but the opposite of a profound truth is very often a profound truth. Right? So it's true that there is nothing new under the sun. That's true. And it is absolutely true that this moment is new under the sun. Take that, writer of Ecclesiastes. This moment is new, and it is offered to us. So nothing changes, but everything changes constantly. It's a lot for my little head to hold. So then I turn to my own life, which is always an interesting teacher, right? Different lives teach different lessons. I don't know the lessons that your life has taught you, but my life has taught me some things about things being new, things changing. So I lived in this little house on Cragmont Road in Black Mountain for about 25 years. I was there in the early 90s, and I lived there until 3 years ago when my family moved, because it was time for my father-in-law to move in with us as his health declined, and my son was becoming a teenager, and it just seemed like more than one bathroom would be a good idea. So we figured out a way to make that happen, and we moved to a slightly larger house 1 mile away, because we really like our little neighborhood. We just found a place with more bathrooms and moved over there. And it was good. There were beautiful things that came out of that. But I lived in that house on Cragmont for 25 years. A friend of mine kindly made it possible for me to rent this house as a young, broke musician and work on the house and make it better. And the idea was that it would be a better investment for her over time. I would fix it up, and she'd be able to sell it for more than she bought it for, but I would have a cheap place to live and a project when I wasn't on the road doing shows. Lovely, win-win for everybody. And she told me at the beginning, if you ever want to buy it, you can. Just come to me when you're ready, and I will sell it to you. And I said, okay, great. So years went by, and finally my grandfather died, and he left me just a little bit of money, and there was a little bit, might be a down payment, and I went to my friend Tracy, and I said, I think I'd like to talk to you and see if it would be possible for me to buy the house. She said, great, give me a couple of days to work the numbers up. I'll call you back. She stopped by the house a couple of days later, and she said, David, here's what we're going to do. Here's what I paid for the house. Here's what I've spent on the materials. Here's the property taxes that I've paid. We're going to add those up, and that's your price. Yeah, that's a big wow. I mean, that changed my life radically, right? Made it possible for me to be a professional artist, frankly. So I lived in that neighborhood for a lot of years, and I loved that little house. I know what the inside of every wall looks like in that house. And it was on a busy road. I lived on the corner of Cragmont Road and Cragmont Road. It takes this really sharp left turn, and my house sits right inside that turn. And it's a neighborhood where mufflers are not terribly popular. And it's a corner that people go flying around, or they did back in that day. Finally, they put a stop sign in there at the corner. But in the day, they would whip around that corner, and it was pretty loud. And I just treated it like the ocean and considered it calming and embraced it. It was good. It was good. But the thing is, if you live on a really busy road that people drive fast on, and you don't have a sidewalk, there's no way to know anybody but your immediate neighbors. And that's a problem if you care about community, right? It's just not safe to walk on the road. There was this one couple that would walk up and down the road all the time, and he was blind. And every time I saw them, I would say a little prayer. I just feared that it was the last time I was going to see him, every time. But they kept lobbying the town to put in a sidewalk, and you know what? One day, the backhoes showed up and tore up my yard, and I've never been so happy to see somebody tear up my yard, because they were putting in that sidewalk. We had a little second driveway on the other side of the house, and they missed that the first time, just put a curb there. But they came back, and they fixed it. It was okay. And over time, again, I lived there for a lot of years, I got to watch my community change. Because people started walking on that sidewalk. It's not just a convenience. A sidewalk is a community stitcher, right? They really, really matter. Because people walk their dogs, and people push their babies, and you walk past each other and you nod and you smile 4 or 5 times, and then maybe the 6th time you find out what the dog's name is, right? And then a couple of years later you might find out the person's name, right? But you've got this little thread of community, just this little thread. And y'all, we hear people talk about the fabric of society. I think it's made up of those little threads. There was actually an article just a couple of days ago in the Washington Post about the importance of weak ties in community. That's what they call that. People that you just nod and smile with, and you say hi at the bank counter or whatever, but you don't actually have dinner together. They're just people you kind of know casually. That really matters, it turns out, in the weaving of society. Well, in 2016, something happened. I don't know if y'all remember, there was this election. Yeah. And it felt like the town had come in and torn out the sidewalk. All my neighbors stopped talking to each other. I'm grateful to have lived in this neighborhood with a lot of different kinds of diversity in it, including political diversity and racial diversity and ability and various different kinds, folks who are loving various different kinds of folks. And it was a beautiful neighborhood to be a part of in a lot of ways, with a fair amount of difference in it. I think that's important, that we know each other across those lines. But everybody was afraid to talk to each other. And let me say, some people were afraid for very good reasons, right? Didn't feel safe for pretty good reasons. But it broke my heart because I'd watched this neighborhood come to know itself and be a community and not just a pile of houses. And then it went away. And I was really frustrated. One night at the dinner table, I was talking to my wife and my son. He was 7 at the time. And I said, man, somebody ought to just make a sign you can put on your house that says, look, no matter who you voted for, I will jump your battery. If your car is dead, I will jump your battery, okay? Doesn't mean everything's cool. Everything's not cool. But I will try to be here for you because I think that's how we build community, right? We get to work on the stuff if we have relationship. The reason those weak ties matter is because when the tree falls from your yard into your neighbor's yard, it's really good if you've been nodding and smiling at each other on the sidewalk, that this isn't your first interaction, right? You've humanized each other. You know the dog's name, right? So that kind of thing matters. Well, I think two of the most dangerous words in the English language, that's if you count them as one of them as a contraction, are somebody oughta. Right? Because every time you hear yourself say that, the next thing that happens is you go, oh man, I'm somebody. Right? And then I thought, yeah, well, I'm somebody, and not only that, I'm a musician. I know how to have signs made. I could do that. So I talked to my family. I said, look, if we were actually going to put a sign on the front of our house, what would it say? And we thought about it a while. And together, the three of us came up, I'll get that. That's fine. No. The three of us came up with this language. You are our neighbors. No matter who you vote for, your skin color, where you're from, who you love, we will try to be here for you. That's what community means. Let's be neighbors. So on Christmas Eve that year, my son and I got a stepladder and a nail, several nails, and a hammer. And we nailed this sign to the front of my house. It was 3 feet wide and 8 feet tall. We ran out of house. It curled up at the bottom. Big honking sign that said that. I nailed it to my house. And interesting things started to happen, right? People would stop on the sidewalk and take pictures, and sometimes people would slow down in the road. Very dangerous, busy corner, very dangerous. But people would slow down to read it, and people would pull in the driveway sometimes and take pictures, and sometimes people would pull in the driveway and knock on the door and want to chat, which was wonderful. That's the whole idea, right? So let's talk. Here's the thing, y'all. This is what I want to emphasize. The sign does not say, no matter all these things, everything's fine. Making peace is not making nice. Everything is not fine. People's lives depend on political decisions. People live and die by those decisions, right? They matter. But I have come to believe that our only hope is to know each other. And maybe even to learn to love each other, but certainly to rehumanize each other so that we can talk about the hard things. People are very seldom rejected into making more compassionate decisions. And it's hard. I do not want to say, and for some of us, let me say also, I'm saying this from in a body that wears a whole lot of privilege. The cards that I was dealt. I didn't choose the cards. These are the cards I was dealt. I got to figure out how to play them. It is less dangerous for me than for some of you to have these conversations, and I know that. What that means is that I have a little more responsibility to have them because of the privilege that I wear, right? I'm getting a little off track. But the point that I want to make is that it is in rehumanizing each other that we weave the fabric of society. And I don't think it's enough that we refrain from cutting the fabric of society, right? There are people right now who are at home working on their podcasts where they are making a buck by actively shredding the fabric of society and turning all of us against each other, right? I don't think it's enough that we just don't do that. I think we have to actively mend the tears. I think we have to be weaving, creating community where it wasn't there before. And that's not easy. It's hard work. There's deep listening involved in that, and sometimes listening to things that feel really toxic, right? I don't recommend doing that in a public setting. I think we should interrupt things that are toxic in a public setting, but in a private setting, I think it's actually good to do some deep listening and ask a lot of questions. Because people can't hear you until they feel heard. You don't have to agree, but if you can say, oh, this is what I hear, then there's a magical space of possibility that opens up where things can happen that really change the world. Of course, when you use that phrase, change the world, well, let me suggest this. If you're at the grocery store later today and you run into a friend and they say, oh, how's your day been? You're like, well, I heard this bald guy talking about changing the world. Right, people are going to chuckle, right? It seems naive. Who do you think you are? It's a big old world, right? But there's a problem with our semantics here. I think we use these three phrases interchangeably: change the world and fix the world and save the world, like they mean the same thing. And they don't. If you think you can fix the world, guilty as charged. That's completely naive. If you think you can save the world, I'd like to suggest maybe that's not your gig. But if you think you can change the world, I think you're just paying attention. The truth is, it's not naive to think you can change the world. It's naive to think you could possibly be in the world and not change it. Everything you do changes the world, whether you like it or not. And you know what? The big changes are always made of an accumulation of small ones. That's how big change always happens. We tell it as a hero story, but it's not how it happened. So friends, I invite you to go in love together, not by yourselves. It's not a hero story. Go together and change the world.
Thank you so much for that, David. Well, I'm ready to go out and chase rabbits and run a foot race and all that good stuff for the world. Jubilee, now is the time we're going to pass the bowls around. We ask all of you online there's a QR code available for you to give generously to continue for this renewal, for the change that we envision for the future. And as we enjoy the music, please give in a good way. Jubilee, let's go out this week. Let's renew. How will it change your life this week, Jubilee, to go out and make connections? And what will your sign say when you hang it out in that yard and decide to have a talk about it? So let's go out and do it in a good way.
We're coming to the edge, running on the water, coming through the fog, your sons and daughters. Sing the greatest song, stand on a star, and blaze a trail of love through the dark of the dawn. Let the rivers run, let all the dreamers wake the nations come, the new Jerusalem. What would you think if I sang out of tune? Would you stand up and walk out on me? Lend me your ears and I'll sing you a song, and I'll try to sing out of key. Oh, I get by with a little help from my friends. I get high with a little help from my friends. Ooh, I'm gonna try with a little help from my friends. What do you do when my love is away? Doesn't worry you to be alone. How do I feel at the end of the day? High sad because you're on your own. No, I get by with a little help from my friends. I get high with a little help from my friends. Oh, gonna try